Good evening, Leroy. How are you? Welcome to another edition of From the Pressbox.
Hello. Glad to be with you, sir. How are you? You've had a very good week.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Good sports week for you. Yeah, we've been absolutely freaking just slammed with stuff going on. I fully get that.
It was great. The Bengals actually won a football game, which feels good that they actually figured out how to do that on Monday. And then last night was
I feel like the entire goal of that whole game was, let me just throw it up in the air and hope that one of my great receivers, either T. Higgins or Jamar Chase, catches it. What do you think? Was that spot on?
I mean, well, Jake Browning played really, really well in the game, though. 34 of 37, for Bud Light's a sponsor of the broadcast today, I see.
That's right.
I don't know if did you sign a deal again? But I'm just glad that they won. Browning played a really good game. It was a good game too. I think it was one of those that if you didn't care who won, you were entertained because it was wild. It was fun.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was just a fun NFL game, which I feel like we haven't had many good primetime games this year. A lot of them have been bad.
It's because the Bears, I feel, have been on every single Monday or Sunday night. It's been horrible. They've had way too many primetime games this year for being as awful as they are.
Yes, they've had more than the Bengals, which, don't get me wrong, the Bengals aren't great, but still, it's been interesting considering the Bengals have been
right. You think about how good they were last year. You would think that the Bengals would have
past 2 years.
Yeah. You would think the Bengals would have more games this year on primetime because of that.
Because that's their last one of the year.
I think they were really relying on Justin Fields and DJ Moore to really have a great season, and that just never happened.
Coming up on the show today, a lot of college football playoff talk. We'll have to break that down. Did they get it right? Did they not get it right? We'll talk about that. We'll have logos. We'll have play clock. We'll have drivers. We'll have our picks of the week as well. And Leroy, I meant to talk to you before the show about an idea I had for the picks. So I guess when we get to that, I'll just bring the idea and we'll just do it live. Because what's better than producing live, right?
Right.
We'll have that a little bit later on, but the pick contest to recap from last week. And congratulations, Leroy, 7-5. You won.
2 weeks in a row.
Bringing the overall total to 87-73. So you're starting to make things a little bit interesting, though. I do give you props for that. You correctly predicted Liberty, Washington, Texas, Boise State, SMU, Michigan, and Florida State to win. My only one that I got that you didn't was Troy over Appalachian State. We were both wrong in Toledo winning the MAC, and we were both wrong in Georgia winning the SEC. Although I do think I deserve like a little pat on the back because I know you were giving Alabama no shot, and I said, not so fast, my friend.
I was not giving Alabama any shot at all.
And then, I mean, you look, I don't know that any of the conference championship games were necessarily great. There was some bad. I mean, like the Big Ten was bad. As far as
yes.
Well, I guess the Pac-12 championship wasn't bad. Was Washington, Oregon. It was at least, close down the stretch. Washington ended up winning it. But other than that, I really weren't any great college football games over the weekend, which was a little bit disappointing.
It was, especially when you think about the fact that they are, championship games, but really, rest in peace to a lot of these conferences, to a lot of the formats. A lot of NCAA is changing next year. And so we can say goodbye to a lot of the, you say goodbye to a lot of the formats of how things have been done. And, people will say, well, that's a good example of why it needs to go. Cause Michigan stopped Iowa or this and that, but I don't know. I was always a fan of these games and a fan of the East versus the West. But we're going to be saying goodbye to that. And it's going to be a lot of changes next year, I think. Some for the good, some not for the good.
Yeah, without a question on that. It'll be interesting to see how that'll change as it goes along. Leroy, you wanted to share a little bit of news, right? Do you want to do that now?
I have two things for you. One, completely unrelated. You don't even know what I'm going to bring up. I just want
No,
you.
I have not a clue because I just knew of one thing that you were
Right.
potentially
I
going to
have
bring
two
up.
things. Okay. Only one unranked team has beat the same number one team in the same calendar year, not season, calendar year. That's right, my friend. Northwestern Wildcats picked up a win over number one Purdue twice this year. Just want that to be on the record. But what was so funny about that game is there was about 1.6 seconds left in overtime. Northwestern had a 4-point lead and the ball. So the game was over, right? The crowd starts to rush onto the court, and you just see this one lone security guard that's like, no. Wait, the game's not over yet. Wait. And you felt absolutely horrible for him because he was trying to stop this massive.
There was nothing he could do, kind of thing. Yeah.
No. So then Matt Painter's like, listen, we need to be able to get our guys off the court so that they don't get which I get. You want to get your guys off the court before everyone rushes the court. And so it's just one of those things where like they sat and talked for a good 30 seconds. They moved all of the players over to the side, and then they finished the game and let everyone rush. Like, players are just running off the court. So that was. I just wanted to bring that up and say, yeah. Otherwise, I have a big announcement career-wise that I'd like to bring up. You know, I'm joining the ranks of Sam Gormley. That's right. Sam calls college sports for Central, right? That's right. Central.
Center.
You know, Center.
Yes.
Center. That's right. Center.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Center.
Yes.
This is the first public time that I'm bringing this up. I haven't even made a Facebook post about this yet. I have tentatively accepted the position of play-by-play for the University of Illinois Springfield athletics. So doing their basketball and doing their baseball games in the spring. This is a huge.
I'm trying to play some happy music or something in the background. Yay!
This is a really big deal, Sam. You know as well as I do that for us, being able to do college basketball, be able to do college athletics, it's a really big deal no matter what level it is. And we're really excited for it. I start next week, so we're excited for it.
It's exciting times indeed. College it's a lot more fun, and it's a lot different than the high school realm because you have access to a lot more information, and that makes it fun. But then it also is frustrating when you don't have access by as much information and so on. So it's kind of fun to see. But congratulations.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
It's funny because like you know, I joke that I could go, if you gave me a roster, I could call it Taylorville basketball game right now with just a roster. And you know, we don't get privy to stats like you guys do down. I know in Kentucky you guys have to get those stats. We get them for boys basketball usually about a couple minutes before the game starts. Otherwise, for girls, we don't get any of them. But I could still do a fairly good job of calling the game. Yet for the college level, like I can pull up whatever stats I want right now and put together like little sheets on each player. So the prep work is so much more at the college level than what you see at the high school level. It's pretty exciting. So we're pretty pumped. We're pretty pumped for that. But yeah, just an exciting time and looking forward to seeing where this takes me.
Yeah, it's exciting times indeed. It only goes up from here, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you're still doing your high school gigs and stuff, so it doesn't have any impact really on that, and so on, right?
Of everything.
So yeah, it's good. It's exciting times, and I know Leroy, you were over the weekend in the group that was throwing little hissy fits.
I wasn't
Sunday afternoon.
I wasn't necessarily throwing a big hissy fit like some other people were. I just simply.
We're talking about the college football playoff now.
Yes.
The college football playoff was released, and I think it's a discussion to have because I think that for the most part, the top two teams, no one's going to disagree with. Michigan 1 and Washington 2. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. You know, both teams have a good resume. Both teams have good wins. Both teams haven't lost a game.
Yep.
And then you get in, I think there's 4 teams for those last 2 spots.
And you can make arguments for all 4 of those teams for those last two spots.
And I will say this, the committee ends up going Texas 3, Alabama 4. And here's my thought process on this. The committee got it right.
Oh, I know you think the committee got it right.
I don't think that there's a thinking. I think they did. They did get it right.
You got your precious little SEC team in. For all this talk about how great the SEC is, y'all barely squeaked into the playoffs and needed help to get there. What happens if Georgia beats Bama? Then Georgia's in, right? Right?
Georgia's the one.
Georgia's in.
Yeah, and yeah.
All right. So my question to you is, what's the point of playing the games?
What do you mean? I'm sorry to hear that too, Paul. Hope your dad's okay. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's the point of playing the games?
What I mean by that is those schedules are set up way in advance. They didn't have any control of it, and if anything, they're not. The Florida State non-con was actually fairly difficult for them. It was their actual regular season when the ACC, that's what killed them as far as strength of schedule. But their strength of schedule was 64. Michigan was 55. So it wasn't
the stat I read had Florida State at 55 and Alabama at 5 when it comes to strength of schedule.
See, I think there were multiple.
So, but okay, regardless, it is a huge difference with that. And I think you're looking at this. Okay. What is Florida State's best win this season? Probably LSU.
Yeah.
Probably LSU.
Yeah.
What's Alabama's best win? Georgia. And that to me, that's where I look at it. Okay, let's go for a loss. Who's Alabama's one loss?
To Texas.
Texas. Where's Texas ranked? Oh, yeah, they're in the playoff. They're number 3. I think you look at strength of record. Florida State was 3, Alabama was 4. Strength of schedule, like I just said, Alabama 5th, Florida State 55th. That's a huge difference. The BCS, so if they still did the BCS rankings, interesting. It would have been Alabama 3, Florida State 4, Texas 5.
Yeah.
Would have been that.
And a lot of people hated the BCS when are you even old enough to remember the BCS? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, a lot of people complained about the BCS rankings anyway, which is why they switched. But college football is the only system that requires votes to get into your playoff system. No other sport at all.
You're saying college athletics.
Right. No other sport requires.
But how else are you going to do it? How else are you going to do it?
I don't necessarily know if I have a right answer for that. Somebody's going to be upset. You got 4, and listen, the irony of this whole thing, unrelated to this, is the ACC was the conference that voted not to go to 12 right away. So the irony of them getting beat from their own, I can joke about that. The irony of them getting kicked out of their own thing after they voted no is really ironic and kind of funny. At the end of the day, though, they did everything that they did everything that they were supposed to do. They scheduled a tough non-conference. They won all the games that they were supposed to. They won their conference. Somebody's going to get butthurt because there's 5 conference champions and only 4 spots. And I don't necessarily think that you can argue that Florida State deserves that spot over Bama or Georgia. But the frustrating part on that is, Florida State, if Florida State beats Georgia, it's not going to happen. But if Florida State is somehow miraculously able to beat Georgia, the amount of conversation that's going to take place for the months after is going to be insane. I'm really excited to go switch to 12 next year because the biggest argument that's going to happen for those 12 teams is seeding. Oh, why am I the 8th seed? I should be this, which we can deal with. And that whoever that number 13 team is. Those are the arguments.
When you get to that, usually the 13 team is not going to win the championship anyways. So I don't know that it'll really do it. I do want to make sure that we put this up really quick. Paul, I'm sorry to hear that about your dad. That's terrible. Cancer sucks. There's no other way to put it.
John Malone, who's a frequent guest on ours, his mom was just diagnosed with breast cancer, and our thoughts and prayers with both John and Paul with your Do that as well.
But I think with this is, I think Bert has a little bit of a point here, taken out because, I mean, listen, if you're Michigan, and you could see that in the video that was released when it was released, Michigan went from having a first-round bye to potentially getting knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to roll Florida State.
And I don't buy.
And now I think they're going to lose to Alabama. Because I think Alabama is one of the best teams in the country right now. They have the best coach in college football history.
Yeah.
And I mean and they're playing it at the Rose Bowl, which is awesome. It's just I think they got it right. And I mean a lot of it too is it goes into how much weight gets put into Florida State's quarterback being hurt.
I don't buy into that. I don't buy into this whole that they removed them because their quarterback was hurt. Their second string is going to be healthy enough, and everyone's using the Louisville game as a good. Well, they only put up 55 yards with their third string. Their second string is going to be back in time for the game. Now, again, if Georgia blows out Florida State, then you know what? This whole conversation is moot, and they didn't need to be in there in the first place. But I don't buy that they were using that they used that as a cop out. I don't think they had any intention of Florida State being in there, which is crazy because Alabama was only in the top 4 3 weeks, weeks 1, weeks 2, and the last week. That's it. And I it's nothing. There feels like there's a lot of bias because of preseason rankings, because of setups like that where I don't think Florida State had a higher or tougher strength of schedule. Again, I don't think they would have gotten in. I think the money requires an SEC team to be in. Let's face it, the conference playoffs will be boring without the SEC in, and that's coming from a massive Big Ten fanboy. But I really think that they said, look, if we have the ACC in versus the Big Ten and we don't have the SEC in, then we're going to miss out on a ton of money.
You know, and John brings up this point. This is the point that I see. Liberty was undefeated. Should they be in?
No, like they're not Power 5. They're not Power 5.
Is the ACC really a Power 5 conference, though?
By definition, they are.
But, I mean, my thing is, it's just Big like
10, SEC, Pac-12.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at their schedule and they're playing. I mean, the ACC this year was trash.
Which is what I
awful.
said. Their non-con didn't hurt them this year. The non-conference schedule for
it's the conference,
Florida
but
State
I think
didn't hurt them. It was their conference.
You look at Alabama and they played. I mean, a gauntlet.
Chattanooga, yeah, real tough.
Well, I mean, Texas. They went to South Florida, who wasn't great, but still. But that's the biggest thing with the SEC is that's always the common thing with it. But it's like, Alabama, their division and the SEC was, Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, and then they had the cross.
Alabama shouldn't have even beat Auburn.
Yeah, and to me, I see that argument too. Florida State just barely beat Florida as well.
I know.
So I think, and I mean, with those, I don't read into rivalry games like that at all. At all. Because I think a lot of times the best team doesn't win in a rivalry game. I think I even said that when we picked that game 2 weeks ago, is that I would not shock me if Auburn won. I think you ended up picking Auburn to win in that game and Alabama won.
I did.
But it would not have shocked me at all. And I don't should close game be a factor against it? And I don't think it should. They won the game. That's all that matters. They won the football game. Auburn didn't. Now, if Alabama would have lost there, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And I think it'd be really interesting in that case, would a runner-up Georgia have gotten in over Florida State?
Boy, now, if you thought people were upset, if they would have if Alabama loses to Auburn and then they beat Georgia, oh my goodness, that would have been pure chaos.
It would have been interesting. But I do know there are a couple of things that I want to say as far as aftermath from this. Number one is I think I heard, and I'm not even going to mention the name because we're not trying to get political on this show or anything, but the governor of Florida, you know, and we're not saying anything, announced that they're going to be using like state money to sue the college football playoff.
They all
over
felt
that.
it was a conspiracy, right? Like it's a conspiracy
Yes,
to get
and
Florida
here's the
State
thing.
out.
It's the most frivolous lawsuit ever. Like you're not going to win, but because the committee is tasked with picking the best 4 teams.
Who's on the committee? Do you know who's on the committee?
It's like 12 ADs, and there might be like a former player in there or something. But they're picking the 4 best players. They have no way, like, it's not like they go of conference champions have to be in or something, or this or that. They're just supposed to pick the best 4 teams, and however they decide to pick the best 4 teams is how they pick the best 4 teams. So that lawsuit to me is just stupid.
But the frustration is that it feels on the surface, and again, it feels on the surface that they're just changing the rules to suit what they need to get the teams that they want in. Again, we talked about it earlier. You can make an argument for all 4 of those teams to be in there, or all 3 of those teams to be in there, right? Like Texas, Florida State, Alabama, and Georgia. You absolutely can make arguments for all 4 of those teams to be in the top 4 easily. And it's just one of those things where when you have 5 Power 5, I don't care if you say they're not Power 5, they are. When you have 5 Power 5 conference champions, someone's going to be left out.
I think what will be interesting here, and I'm making this prediction right here, Leroy.
Yep.
This is going to kill the ACC.
Well, yeah. I mean,
this is going to kill the ACC because what's going to happen now is schools like Florida State are going to say, well, this isn't working. Hey, SEC. Hey.
And that's just it, right? Clearly, you need. I made a joke to a friend of ours. I made a joke to a mutual friend of ours that clearly the only way to win a championship is to join the SEC, because clearly that's the bias towards there is. Oh, we just need to join the SEC. You can shake your head all you want to.
I don't know that that's accurate at all. But
the SEC had an absolute down year this year compared to what we've seen from previous years. I think even you can admit that.
Yeah, I'm not good, but there's still 2 teams that could win the championship.
Correct.
In Georgia. And I mean, if LSU had a defense that wasn't a sieve, they would also be a team that could potentially win, but their defense is just trash. Their offense is one of the best in the nation.
If I put Georgia on the field in Dallas, like if we opened up Dallas Stadium and we put Georgia Bulldogs in there, and Georgia gave an open invitation to any team in the country to say, hey, come play us right now, we'll play you. There's no team that Georgia would be an underdog to.
Not before last. I mean, before last weekend, no. Nor should they be. I mean, they'd have been a favorite against Michigan, as they should be. Because, I mean, they'd won 29 straight games before that. But I really think that this is going to kill the ACC. Because I think you're going to get these schools who are going to realize that they need to be in the Big Ten. They need to be in the Big 12. They need to be in the SEC. They need to be in one of those 3. And
I already said the conferences are over. No, they wouldn't. Conferences are over. They really are. You're going to see the death in 5 years from now. College football will be completely different than what you see right now. It will be, because they're all super conferences. You're going to have 30 teams, and it's going to be absolute pure chaos. The rich teams will continue to be rich. The poor teams will continue to be poor. And at the end of the day, it's going to be all about whoever can field the best NIL packages. That's what it's going to boil down to. And I don't think that there's a right answer.
Is this where I'm supposed to ask you how you feel about NIL?
No. We don't have time to get into that tonight.
Leroy, how do you feel about the transfer portal?
Yells at cloud. No, but again, I think we're going to see a grand change in how football is moving forward. And if you're a fan of a big school like Michigan or the top power conference or the power schools in the SEC, for football, you're going to be fine. but I wonder about these smaller schools and how they are going to keep moving forward. And I use it often as a lot, but like smaller schools will have to adjust. They can't go by the whole, hey, we started recruiting you in 8th grade. We're going to keep you and we're going to move you forward and you're going to play for us and you're going to play for us all 4 years. And then you're going to graduate. Maybe if you're good enough, you'll get drafted. That format is gone. It's all about how much money these players can bring. And at some point, we're going to reach a peak. Not to get sidetracked, but think about how many people went to the transfer portal this week already. Over 1,600. Over 1,600 players went to the transfer portal. There is not enough scholarship spots available for all of these kids that transferred out. And the grass is not necessarily greener on the other side. I promised I wasn't going to get sidetracked. God dang it, Sam. I promised you. I wasn't going to get
just listening to you. I'm just letting you rant about what you want to rant about.
No, but again, I think we're going to have some good playoff football. I really do. I don't like it. But I think
because here's the thing. I mean, it would have given Michigan a first-round bye. Because I don't think with Florida State and their backup quarterback, they just don't have the offense to compete. And that's the thing. If they had Jordan Travis, it would be a different story. I think in fact, let's just do it right now. We will pick it again in the pick contest when it comes through. But Leroy, right now, Alabama or Michigan, who wins?
Oh, I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to go Michigan.
And you know who I'm going.
Yep.
Bama by 30. No. I think Bama wins by 8. I think it is one of those.
The game will be much closer than the score shows. Let's just put it that way.
And see, I think it'll be the opposite.
Really?
I think Bama will be up. Like, it'll be one of those where they go up 14-0 early. And it's one of those that'll be like 14-7. Whoop, whoop. Oh, you almost had us. I think it'll be one of those. You think it'll be the opposite where they pull away at the end.
Yeah. I think the score will be farther, but it will feel like it's like that.
And I think it'll be the opposite. Washington against Texas.
I have no idea. I
don't either. I really don't know who I'm picking.
What Texas team shows up? Because I tell you what, we've seen some good Texas this year, and we've seen some okay Texas this year.
I'll pick Washington. But I think that's truly
that shocks me. I didn't think you would take Washington.
Why? I like Penix. I like Odunze.
I figured you'd be more of a
although Texas
Longhorn type
was my playoff pick. At the beginning of the year, I did pick them to make the playoffs.
You did.
We both did pick USC. So good job. Good job. Well done.
Shows why I'm sitting here and not in some like ESPN analyst seat somewhere over there. All right. And the thing is, I think Washington will win. I think Washington will win too.
Okay. Washington, Michigan. And see, I'm picking Bama against Washington. And as I've learned, don't bet against Saban. More times than not.
I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna go with Washington. I think the pressure will get to Michigan. Sorry, Bert. I think the pressure will get to Michigan here in these playoffs. Jim Harbaugh has beaten Ohio State, done a fantastic job, but they've always fallen short when it comes to the big important games at the end of the year. Maybe it's because they didn't have enough information to steal signs from them. Maybe.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think they're that good. And that is me not throwing out the SEC bias. I just don't think they're that great.
Yeah, see, I knew I was going to break your heart, Bert.
Now sponsored by chips as well. Like, what are we?
Oh yeah.
What are we doing here?
Casey's had a free bag of chips today for the 24 days of Christmas, so I cleaned up with some sour cream and onion Lay's chips.
Oh well, look at you! And then, do you want to share your drink of choice here?
My platinum Bud Light. That's right.
Do I need to?
They're gonna call me and be like, "Sir, we're not sponsoring you. You need to blur out your logo. Thank you."
Yeah, something like that. We're definitely gonna have to do that, or I don't know. But and I love that it's a different one every single week. Like today, I'm just being sponsored by the Cincinnati Bengals because that's the best part about it. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting who the playoff goes. I pick Alabama.
You think Alabama's going to win the whole
just
thing?
because I don't bet against Saban. Just don't bet against Saban. And they're playing really good. Yeah, Bert's right. Jake Browning does look nice. And hey, Jake Browning, Washington, the Fighting Huskies.
Not that you care, but what's the update on Trevor Siemian?
He's with the Jets.
No, he's not, is he?
Yes. Yeah, he's the Jets starting quarterback right now. He didn't even make the Bengals. They cut him.
Oh.
Jake Browning beat out Trevor Siemian for the backup quarterback job.
Okay. I thought he was the third string for you guys.
No, the third string is A.J. McCarron, Bengals legend.
Oh, my goodness.
And then the fourth string is a true Bengals legend, Drew Plitt. Who I know everybody knows who Drew Plitt. And Leroy, I just want to do this. Okay. What conference did Drew Plitt play? And how about this? You know what? I'll do this. I'm feeling generous. If you can get the conference, I'll give you a point in the pick contest. I'll give you 1 point. Okay. What conference did Drew Plitt? Yeah, don't Google it. Did Drew Plitt play? Did Drew Plitt play college football?
I have no idea. I'm going to guess the MAC.
Son of a gun.
Did I get it?
Ball State, yes. Yeah. So you get a point. Okay. So I'll make sure to add and give you 8 points last week. Okay. Yes, Drew Plitt played at Ball State, I'm pretty sure.
David Letterman School, man.
Yes, you're right. David Letterman School. How about winter meetings? I know that there really wasn't a lot that have come out yet.
The only thing I want to talk about winter, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time. We need to get to the rest of our segments. But the only thing that really irritates me about winter meetings is a couple things. One, Major League Baseball has a real good chance to bring some heavy marketing and bring some flavor to the offseason. Listen, baseball's a long season. We all know it, but ain't nothing happening between November and February. Every other sport has short signing periods. They're only allowed to sign between this time and this time. Baseball, you could sign up to 2 days before, 1 day before the season starts if you really wanted to. And we've seen it. We've seen it happen where guys don't sign.
Brad is right, Leroy.
Touche. Good point. But no,
he is correct.
But we've seen it where nothing happens. Nothing happens. Right now, Shohei Ohtani is, in theory, holding all of the winter meetings hostage because nobody wants to do anything until Shohei signs.
Where's he sign?
Dodgers.
I think I agree. It's Dodgers or Braves. But then I was reading today, and I don't know whether this was a joke account. Are the Blue Jays a legitimate case?
The Blue Jays are a legitimate threat. Absolutely. I've been following the winter meetings all week this week. Blue Jays are a legit. It was so funny because Shohei, apparently his camp has said anybody that leaks information out is going to might lose Shohei, right? Dave Roberts from the Los Angeles Dodgers, manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers, is sitting here going, "Yeah, I talked to Shohei. Absolutely. Brought him down, had a good time. It was great." And all of a sudden, his phone rings. And you see him like the old Kanye West gif, right? Where he's like, like he went from like happy to like ticked off in like 5 seconds because the management was like, "Shut up. Don't talk about it." And it's
Paul, I'm curious too. Paul, I'm curious, where do you think he's going to go? I mean, Paul, I know you're also a big baseball fan. Are you agreeing? I think Dodgers is probably the favorite right now. See, I'd love it if he does like Shohei to the Royals.
American League. You can stay over in the American League, please.
Shohei to the White Sox. White
Sox are moving to Nashville. Jerry Reinsdorf had a secret meeting with the Nashville mayor and got caught.
It's interesting the winter meetings when it comes to
I
it.
think there needs to be a signing period in baseball. Like, look, you have until this certain day to get signed. I don't like this whole secretive nature, this whole ridiculous, like we can sign whenever we want to. And you got teams that are like going all out in a flurry of, like, granted, mark my words, the second Shohei signs with the team, right? The second Shohei signs with the Dodgers or whatever, the next 3 days is going to be so many moves because it's like World War I. Everybody's hinging, everybody's waiting for the one move to fall, and then everything's going to kind of domino effect from there. Why? Why does this have to happen? This shouldn't have to happen. No other league does this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to really disagree when it comes to that, but it's time to cue that music.
Oh,
it's
boy.
Everyone's favorite segment, Leroy's Logos, the time where we have 3 college logos.
That's true.
And Leroy should tell me it's simple enough what the logo is. It's easy. Leroy, you are now hitting 378 on the season, I guess. But you're in a slump. You're hitting 208 in your last 6 after you had been ripping it off.
Hold on, let me get my rally cap. Let me get my rally cap. There we go.
Oh, look at you.
We got the rally cap. Let's do it.
All righty, Leroy. Would you like one? You've turned your comments off, right?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. All right, we're good to go. Let's do it.
Would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
3.
Number 3. Door number 3. Leroy goes first again. He's hitting 208 his last 6, including 0 for 4 a week ago. He struggled a week ago.
I'm so mad. I just saw this logo this week for basketball. I think I just saw this logo this week for basketball.
Paul says he's seen it before.
Yeah, I definitely have, and I'm going to give the wrong answer, but I've definitely seen this.
Okay, what's your guess then?
Arizona State.
Arizona State. That is Texas State. Texas State. The Bobcats. The Bobcats.
I've just seen that logo. I've just seen that logo.
I don't know. Maybe you have. Maybe you haven't. Okay. 1 or 2?
2. Oh. I'll wait for some people to.
Oh, you think you know this?
I think I know it. I'm going to mess it up, but I think I know it.
I don't know. I don't know if your confidence is a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing.
I love the colors in this logo. Like, it's very bright.
Yeah.
It's very bright. Okay, let's see. Okay, Leroy, what is it?
You ready for my wrong answer? Here we go. San Diego State.
San Diego State. That is.
Gosh.
That is San Jose State.
You're a horrible person. I just want you to know.
San Jose State. I'm a horrible person. How? You ready for the last one? So you've missed Texas State and San Jose State, and here is your final one.
Oh, no!
What?
Oh. This logo has gotten me before. It's either Alabama or Arkansas State. It's one of the others.
It's not my job to tell you. It's your job to tell me.
Wasn't asking you there, buddy.
I'm just sharing here.
Thank you.
Paul's,
you for that.
You know, I'll give you Paul's. Paul. You know, I mean, listen. You can trust Paul or you cannot trust Paul. Now,
It's definitely state, but it's either Alabama State or Arkansas State. I can't remember which one. All right, 50-50 shot. I'll go with Alabama State.
Alabama State. That is... You were right halfway. You're right that it's Alabama. South Alabama. The Jaguars of South Alabama. So it wasn't a state. Sorry. I thought this week I thought I gave you some softballs here this week. South Alabama, San Jose State, Texas State, Leroy. What is the theme? What is the theme this week? You're not the only one, Paul.
Shut up. They all picked up wins this week in basketball.
I'm going to give you another shot. Because I'm feeling nice.
Well, thank you.
Say them again, Paul. Paul wants to be saying it. South Alabama, San Jose State, Texas State. So it's Bobcats, Spartans, Jaguars.
They're all teams in the southern part of their state.
No, that would be incorrect anyways, because San Jose is Northern California.
Oh, is it?
Sorry, Leroy.
My California geography is not that great. So what is it? What is it?
All three teams are playing in bowl games. It's bowl season. Bowl season here. So these are all three FBS teams. So you said a couple of weeks ago that you went through and you did your logo game practicing.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that would have helped you.
All three of those logos I've seen in that logo game, and I jacked all of them up.
And I think the last time you and Paul saw this logo is probably when you were looking at your bowl games.
Yep.
And saw that logo there because they're playing in a bowl game.
I knew.
So that's probably the reason as to why you had just seen it, because they're in a bowl game this week.
Who is South? Thank you. I agree with Paul, man. Those were tough, man.
I felt like
who does South Arkansas? Who does South Arkansas play in their bowl game?
South Alabama. They know they played last year in their bowl game. The Tops.
WKU.
They played WKU. I don't honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember who they play in their bowl game.
Northwestern plays Utah. Woo! David Braun named Coach of the Year in the Big Ten and finalist in the Coach of the Year for all of college football.
Yeah,
not bad for a guy who.
I think it is interesting. Yeah. Oh, why is it doing that? Why is it so big? My goodness.
Already counting down, man.
Yeah, I know. It does that right when I put it up on screen, so it's just, I don't know. Would you like to ask or answer first as we join into our play clock segment where each of us has 40 seconds to answer said question that the other person doesn't know about?
I will answer first.
Okay. I'm going to do a simple question for you. And I asked you, your old man yelling at the cloud. I had, NIL, transfer portal, and I feel like I can give you another opportunity to be old man yelling at the cloud here. How do you feel about players that opt out of bowl games?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I think you gave your team your all season long, and then when they needed you the most, you said, I'm better than you guys. I need to get ready for the draft season. Look, if you're going to go in the first and second round of the NFL draft, I understand it. I do. If you're going to go first or second round in the NFL draft, I completely get it. But in reality, like I'm just not a big fan of opting out of something that you've given your heart and soul into all season long. Your coaches expect you to play. You should play. But that's just me, my old man, 41-year-old Leroy yelling at the clouds. So I'm not a big fan of it.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
No, he's not, Blake.
I think he's probably saying playing in the playoff. That's probably my guess. Well, I guess, but that's right. He's not playing in the playoff. because Ohio State didn't make the playoff.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Ohio State, who probably feels gypped as well in that whole.
Why?
Do we really have to discuss that again?
Oh, there you go. You're not alone there, Leroy.
Thank you.
Yeah, if Marvin Harrison is an idiot if he comes back. Honestly,
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah,
if he comes back, because he's not going to get any higher. Go make your money. Yeah, including their quarterback hit the transfer portals. That was interesting.
Oh man, Ohio State and a Michigan guy in our comments. That'll be fun. Boys, don't kill each other.
I'm ready.
The NBA in-season tournament is wrapping up. I know you've been following it very, very closely. All you gotta do is tell me one team that's playing it. No, I'm just kidding.
Lakers. Aren't the Lakers in it?
Are they? I don't think they are. Somebody in the comments can tell me. Regardless,
Warriors, Celtics, Heat. I'm gonna have to get one.
There you go. No, I think I might have even asked you this before, so I apologize if I'm asking you this question again. What other sport would you like to see an in-season tournament in? If any.
It might work in baseball. That's the only sport it could work in, though. I mean, football, the season's like too short, all things considered. Soccer already has it. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't care about hockey. So I can't answer that to hockey to see if it would. I mean, and that's just me being honest. Like, I can't answer hockey to know if it would work or not. I think it could work in baseball, but I don't know that it would work in baseball, if you know what I mean. Like, I just, in baseball is such a game of tradition that I feel like that they would be upset. But then again, base times are changing.
I just feel like baseball could use it as like who gets home field advantage for the World Series instead of using the All-Star game.
Yeah, potentially with that. Blake, I like the 12-team playoff. I think it'll be good. I would have gone 8, but I would do that. I really, in all seriousness, though, baseball's the only one that would kind of make sense for, but I
and listen, y'all, if you've been following this show for a while, you know I care less about the I don't even know what it's really for, other than just bragging rights for being the best in conference or in season team. So, go ahead.
I saw an interesting tweet or Facebook post or something like that, where it was talking about a 4-day work week, and the question was,
that would never fly for us.
No, it wouldn't. But let's say that it did in our industry, and the question was: Is it better for, would you want your Monday off, your Friday off, or your Wednesday off if it was a 4-day work week?
Wednesdays, interesting. Listen, I gotta go with Monday. You know, I have all my football games, my races on Sunday. By the time I get to Monday, I'm like, look, I need a day. To recover from my weekend. You know, Fridays I can handle because I ain't doing much on Fridays anyway. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, as far as that, it's got to be Monday, man. Oh, see, I'm allergic to it. Already. But no, yeah, I'm all about Wednesdays are interesting. I like that idea of having a split week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. No, I gotta go with Mondays, man.
Yeah, the Wednesday is an interesting one. I mean, 4-day work week would be great, Paul. Monday's off. Why are you running? You're not supposed to be running yet. He had Fridays off. And I don't know that there's really a right answer with it.
Much like the potato chip question. Anyway.
No, there was a wrong answer, though, and you gave it.
So, outside of, we already talked at great length about it, outside of the top 2, the playoffs for the bowl games, what bowl game are you most excited about watching?
Other than Kentucky?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously I have Kentucky, Clemson, which is interesting that they get Clemson. Western Kentucky plays in the Toasty something bowl. It is against Old Dominion. the Ohio State-Missouri game intrigues me just because I like Missouri's offense a lot, and they're going to be a lot more hyped for that game. And I think Ohio State has a chance to go in overlooking Missouri, and I think Missouri is legitimately actually pretty good. And I think that they can score with the best of them, so I'm intrigued by that one.
Plus, the Buckeyes are missing like 15 players from their starting lineup because they all transferred out.
Why would you even want to play in Columbus? They can't beat their rival.
Oh, my goodness. That's Sam Gormley from the Pressbox.
When's the last time when's the last time Michigan won a national championship, though? Was I even alive?
No.
I was going to say. No. And Ohio State's won like one in the last 20 years.
No. Yeah, it's been a minute. 97. So were you alive in 97? You were like 5.
That was the year I was born.
You were born in 97. Oh my gosh, I was 15.
Which means that I was not, because if it happened in 97, it would happen in like January. It means I was not alive the last time Michigan won a national championship.
See, Blake's right. Michigan can't win bowl games.
Yeah, congratulations. You've won 45 Big Ten championships. Whoop-de-doo. What do you want?
I don't know why y'all are trying to get an SEC fanboy to freaking.
Why don't you complain a real conference and we'll talk? Michigan wouldn't go 7-5 in the SEC. Kentucky would whoop that butt.
You have 3 good teams in the SEC. Don't even start with me, Sam Gormley. You have 3 good teams.
Iowa would not even have been bowl eligible.
Okay.
Paul says he was born in 1981.
82, Paul, right behind you.
97.
Child.
Oh, yeah, no, we did finish that. I was like, wait a second. Did we finish that? I was like, yes, we did.
We're ready for drivers.
Great. I sound like Paul Feinbaum. Paul! Do I need to shave my head and do that? Michigan was scared to play Bama. Ohio State actually competed with Bama and beat them for the championship in 2016. You have shoes as old as me, Paul. Well, congratulations. You might need to go buy yourself a new pair of shoes.
After Northwestern beat Vanderbilt 3 years in a row, the Vanderbilt head coach at the time sent a letter to Northwestern saying, we're not playing you anymore. That coach, James Franklin. Jerk. The more you know. Anyway.
You feel better now?
I do. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's get you some drivers. For those of you who don't
Keegan Michael Key?
What?
Keegan Michael Key, you mean?
Yeah.
Because he looks just like James Franklin.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know how this segment works, I'm going to give Sam a driver. Oh, the Smack Talk is glorious. I love it. We've been missing the Smack Talk here for a little while. Anyway, for those of you who don't know how this works, I'm going to give Sam a driver. All Sam has to do is tell me. Ooh, I can't have that. All Sam has to do is tell me who the driver. No, not who the driver is. Whether he's an F1 driver, IndyCar driver, or NASCAR driver. Here we go.
Okay. He got some big old eyes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
F1.
Final answer?
Yes.
Yes, F1. That's George Russell. He drives for Mercedes. Good job.
I was gonna say he
is he one of those that's way too pretty to be a NASCAR driver?
He looks too European.
He looks too European.
Yeah, like Paul. He doesn't. He definitely does not look like a. Yeah.
All right, let's go to driver number 2.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Photoshop.
I do what I can. You literally scrubbed SD from the logo last week. Don't talk to me about Photoshop.
Well, yeah, because if it would have been SD, you had one guess.
San Diego.
Well, I guess okay. You could have missed it that realm, but okay. So you would have had 2 guesses. I feel like would you have guessed San Diego if you'd have seen SD?
I don't know. I don't know what I would have guessed. I really don't.
Okay. That is a NASCAR driver. That's Greg Biffle. No, it's
is that Greg Biffle? That's your final answer?
It's not Greg Biffle, though.
It's not.
It is a NASCAR driver, though.
It is a NASCAR driver. That's AJ Allmendinger.
Oh, the legend, the road course warrior.
The road course warrior, indeed. All right, you ready for your last one?
Okay, here, let me catch up on comments here really quick. Quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just oh, look at
Blake
John.
John, good job, buddy.
Okay,
no, Bert's still hyped up. Hey, you know who also beat Purdue this year? Anyway, yeah, they're not the same without Jeff Brom, just saying. And you know what? I'll leave that alone. Anyway, here's driver number 3.
You're feisty tonight.
I am a little bit. I'm tired.
So I can look on his side here. It looks like it says John 3:16. Either that or it's Austin 3:16.
No, it does say John 3:16. He's very religious.
Which kind of makes me think NASCAR.
He's got a really long neck. Doesn't he have a really long neck?
He does have a long neck.
I told Christy he's got a really long neck.
He does, but he has too pretty a hair to be a NASCAR driver.
Hey, so wait, that's not fair. Kyle Busch is really like beautiful hair.
He's an IndyCar driver.
Final answer?
Yes.
Well, after going 0 for 3 last week, you righted the ship this week. 3 for 3, Sam Gormley. That's Stingray Robb. That's right. That's his real name, Stingray Robb. He is an IndyCar driver. Good job.
Look at us. Is he from Yugoslavia?
He's from Utah.
Is there a difference?
No, they're the exact same.
Okay, it's time for our picks of the week, which we get to add back here, Leroy. For one, I'm going to make it's not an executive decision. You can vote this down, but I'm thinking that since we have lost Kentucky, Northwestern, and Western Kentucky for right now, and no bowl games this week, how about we automatically pick Army Navy? And then we each pick 2 NFL games.
I was going to ask if we can pick Army Navy.
And then we each pick 2 NFL games. How's that sound?
Fine with me. With me.
And we also begin our high school basketball picks of the other game of the week. So how we're doing. Oh, we got breaking news. Breaking news, according to Blake. I don't know if this is breaking news.
Is it breaking?
Yes, it is. Breaking news, the Yankees have acquired Juan Soto from the Padres in a multiplayer deal. Interesting.
Deal is done. Yankees now get to bear Soto with Aaron Judge, who will stay healthy for exactly 2 weeks before one of them gets hurt.
Trent Grisham also goes to the Yankees. Trent Grisham also goes to the Yankees. Interesting. I'm trying to see who they got in return, and I don't see anything.
Eduardo Rodriguez and the Arizona Diamondbacks are in agreement for $20 million a year. That deal also just went through.
Interesting. Look at that. Breaking news happening here on From the Press Box.
Only on From the Press Box can you get that breaking. That's right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting on how that could potentially change things, but they'll probably still make the playoffs and lose the first round. Yeah, I think Paul 83-79, they win one more game. Yeah, probably because everybody will get hurt again.
No, but think about it. Think about how many of those guys are injury prone. Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, like all 3 of those guys are big bats. Don't start, Sam. But all 3 of those guys.
I didn't say anything.
All 3 of those
guys.
One
of them likes to strain certain body parts, but I'm not saying anything. I didn't name any names.
All 3 of those guys can get hurt.
Anthony Rizzo. Sorry.
All 3 of those guys can get hurt, though. I mean, they've all had injury issues most of their career. All 3 of them.
Are they going to stop Leroy?
They're not. They're not. This is going to go until we end the.
I don't think us ending is going to end it. I think it'll just continue.
For some reason, I feel like this has been going for 100 years. So.
But we are jumping into our pick contest, and how this works is we are adding back our high school game of the week. So Leroy and I both broadcast high school basketball now. We picked the football games previously. Where I would pick the Taylorville football game of the week, and Leroy would pick the Grayson County game of the week. We have made the executive decision that we are bringing that back, but we are doing high school basketball. Every week, Leroy will be predicting a Grayson County boys game, and I will be predicting a Taylorville girls game.
And the reason being is I'm the primary broadcaster for Taylorville girls. I do color for the boys on their away games, but I'm the primary girls home and away broadcaster, yes.
So because of that, we're going to do the girls games for you. And then just to keep things similar for me, we're going to do the boys. So to learn each other's teams, we each get 3 questions about the other person's team. But first, we are going to mention the game of the week that we are going to be predicting. So we each get to ask the other person 3. It has to be simple yes or no questions or basic answers. Like, we can't ask long-winded questions or open-ended. It needs to be yes, no, a point total, a record, a score. Like, no more than 3 or 4 words, right?
Yep.
Okay. Leroy, what is your game of the week?
Does it have to be yes or no?
Or like a record or a point or something like that. So, Leroy, what is your game of the week for Taylorville this week that I will be predicting?
Our game of the week, we only have one game this week, so you don't have a choice in the matter, as Taylorville beat Charleston 70-26 earlier this week. So it is Taylorville versus Pleasant Plains. The game is in Taylorville. The Pleasant Plains Cardinals.
When is this?
This is tomorrow night.
So this is a Thursday night game between Taylorville and Pleasant Plains. And Leroy, you will be predicting Grayson County boys at Edmonson County. The big rivalry game opens it off on Friday.
Oh.
If you've watched the pod, you know that rivalry means just a little bit. You think Ohio State, Michigan is a rivalry? Nope. Can't hold a candle to Grayson County, Edmonson County, because last time they played basketball in this gym, there was a fan attacking the coach.
Can you recreate your call? Right
He's
here?
Got him in a headlock. There was a UFC moment. You can't make up what happened. We went viral, and not for the right reasons.
Yeah,
not for the right reasons. Right. Okay. So, Leroy, I get to ask you a question first about the Taylorville Pleasant Plains game. How many? We will say the records of each game. That doesn't count as a question.
Correct.
Edmonson, I believe, is 2-2. Leroy. Grayson County is 2-1. I believe those are the records. I'm not 100% certain, but it's around that realm.
Say it again, Sam.
2-1 Grayson, 2-2, I believe, is Edmonson.
Okay.
And what's Taylorville's record?
Taylorville is 6-1. Pleasant Plains is 7-4.
Ooh, dang, a lot of games already.
We've been playing a lot already, yeah.
Okay. First question for you, Leroy, is oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. How far did Pleasant Plains make it in the tournament last year?
Oh, you're gonna have to talk and give me a second.
Okay, then I'll ask you another question. How many wins did do you know what Pleasant Plains record was a year ago?
I can get that in like 20 seconds. Give me a second.
Good job. And who won the last time they played?
They've never played each other.
Okay.
It's a non-conference game.
Okay.
And last year, Pleasant Plains went 23-7.
Okay. And how far did they make it? Because that's my final question.
They went.
This is great podcasting. Great
semifinals. Semifinals
of state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, dang! Now I wish I would have saved my question because I'm gonna say but I've asked my 3. I'll pick Taylorville. Why not? Okay, Leroy, you got 3 questions about Grayson and Edmonson.
All right. Where is Grayson County expected to finish this year in respective to their conference?
So there's district and then region. I'll say district because district is 4 teams. Probably second or third.
Okay. All right.
There is a heavy favorite and a heavy last place. Second or third. Second or third. It literally could be a toss-up.
Okay. All right. How many returning starters do you have?
Grayson. Gosh.
See, neither of us know the questions.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think here. 2. Yes.
What was the score last year when you guys played?
They played 3 times.
Okay. Are you guys home or away?
It's in Edmonson County.
So tell me the last time you guys played in Edmonson County. The last time you guys played in Edmonson County.
So they played twice in Edmonson County. Last time, Edmonton won by 15. Roughly in that realm. Okay, those are your 3 questions, Leroy. You got the Cougs or the Cats. Grayson at Edmonton. In the best rivalry in America, Ohio State, Michigan wishes they could hold a candle to the Tobacco Bowl.
I will go with Grayson County and regret it.
I'll be honest with you. Okay, now we always say whether we made the right pick or not. Did I make the right pick?
I believe so.
Okay. You want me to be honest?
Yep.
I haven't a clue. I really think so. You asked what place Grayson County is going to finish in the district. Edmonton is the second or third. It's literally this game. I feel like you could play it 10 times and it is going to be 5-5. Like I have no prediction whatsoever going in. Okay, now we're going to speed it up. Leroy, Bengals, Colts in Cincinnati.
Bengals.
I agree. Bengals. Lions at the Bears. I'm going to pick the Lions.
Where's the game at?
At the Bears.
I'll go with Bears.
CTS easy, John says.
John, you're a Colts fan, brother. I fully expect you to take the Colts, brother.
Yeah, Colts are going to get their rear ends kicked. Jake Browning.
They've given up. Apparently, the Colts have given up out of the last 4 games. The Colts have given up like the least, like the third least amount of points in those 4. They
gave up like almost 30 to the Titans. So I don't know how necessarily accurate that might be. I don't know who Grover Stewart is. Is he related to Grover from Sesame Street?
Oh, this podcast is coming off the rails tonight.
He is brown crap, Paul says.
Brown sugar.
Paul, we're interested too. If who are you picking between Taylorville and Pleasant Plains and Grayson County? We need your poll. We need your poll points. Leroy, Army, Navy, both teams 5 and 6.
Listen,
I already know who you're picking.
Listen,
I mean, do we even need to say?
Listen,
you're picking Navy.
There's only one right answer. Only one acceptable answer. Go Army, baby! Yeah.
I'm gonna and just okay. Paul's picking Taylorville.
Good
in that game, and I'm picking Navy. Why?
You are dead to me.
Why?
I think Navy will probably. I just can't pick them. I think Navy will win. I just can't pick them.
I don't know. Picks now for the NFL games. I'll go first. Bills at Chiefs. Leroy.
Where's that game at?
Bills at Chiefs.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Is Taylor Swift going to be there?
Yeah, Paul Johnson hasn't been there in about 20 years.
I'll go with Chiefs. Allen doesn't look good. Does Allen not look good this year? There's a lot of the quarterbacks that really haven't looked good this year.
He's one of the few that's still healthy. So.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'll pick the Chiefs too. Chiefs coming off a loss. It's in Arrowhead. That's tough to pick against them. Leroy, what's your first NFL game of the week for us to pick?
The Philadelphia Eagles headed to Dallas to take on the Cowboys Sunday night at 7:20 in a game that my general manager, who's a huge Cowboys fan, says everybody's watching. I'm gonna be watching hockey, so that shows you where my interests are. But
I will never understand. And Paul, I think you're a Cowboys fan as well. I know that they were good.
why is this a rivalry? They're not even close to each other. It's like the Giants.
Divisional. That's why.
Yeah, it's just weird rivalry.
I just never understand why there's so much of a just love of the Cowboys as far as like from like how does somebody from Taylorville, Illinois become a fan? Like the Cowboys in a way are maybe the most popular team in this city here. We live in Western Kentucky. Paul says you're full of it.
I'll be watching both, Paul. You know me. I can't not watch that train wreck in Chicago. Come on now.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Cowboys have won a lot of road games or home games in a row.
The rumor is if the Cowboys don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, that there's a good chance that McCarthy loses his job.
I think Jerry Jones likes McCarthy, which is important.
Yeah.
I think in that realm. I'll go Seahawks at 49ers.
Seahawks at 49ers. Is Brock Purdy for real?
I don't know. I think it's just he's got such good weapons around him with Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Brandon Ayuk.
Like with Justin
and he's
Fields
got a good offensive line.
With Justin Fields,
he's better than Justin Fields. He's better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So Grayson County's, and I'm not saying that to take a shot at you. I just honestly think about this. So I found out yesterday that Grayson County's new girls basketball coach is a big Bears fan. He's team Justin Fields though.
Oh.
And I told him, I said, well, I got a friend, and he is not a fan of Justin Fields. Okay, Seahawks at 49ers, Leroy.
The Eagles will never be America's team. I don't think the Cowboys should be, but the Eagles definitely will not. I will go with the 49ers.
I agree. I have a prediction in my head, and I'm going to write it down of the game that you're going to pick. And let's see if I'm right. Okay. I've written it down. And look, you can see both of my hands. You don't see. Right? Okay.
Yep.
So I can't write anything down. Okay.
Yep. I'm going with the Buccaneers versus the Falcons.
Okay. I thought you probably can guess which one I thought you were going to go with.
You think I was going with Packers Giants?
No, I thought you were going with.
Oh, Patriots?
Patriots Steelers. I thought because you were going to make me maybe pick that team.
No.
What did you say the game was?
Huh?
What did you say the game was? What game did you pick?
The Buccaneers Falcons. It's two divisions.
Where?
It's in Atlanta. It's two division rivals. I mean, it's a big rivalry game. I know nobody cares about it. They both suck. That's not the point.
Go Fighting Baker Mayfields.
You of all people who pick Appalachian State versus Troy State can't be giving me a hard time about.
Last week that was a conference championship game. I'll go Bucks.
Okay, and I'll go. Boy, I have in one of my leagues. I have Trevor Lawrence, and I have C.J. Stroud, and I have Baker Mayfield. I really, really hope C.J. Stroud stays healthy because I really don't want to start Baker Mayfield if I don't have to. I will go with the Falcons.
So we separate on Eagles, Cowboys, on Bucks, Falcons, Army, Navy, Bears, and Lions. So the game. So we could, Leroy, you could continue on your hot streak, and maybe next thing you know, you're right back in it, and maybe
Lions are going to win by 40.
Making things interesting. Making things interesting potentially.
Well, thank you, Dad. I appreciate that, sir.
Leroy, it's been fun as always. Good luck with your game tomorrow night.
Yes. I have a game next Wednesday for UIS. I don't know about what we're going to do about the podcast.
Nope. What's up?
I said, what are you muting me for? I'm telling you.
What time? I got to think. Games next week. My game Thursday got moved to Friday, so technically I'm open on Thursday. I'm not open on Tuesday, I don't think, though. But we can talk. So podcast might change next week. We'll let you know on the Facebook page, though.
Yeah, we'll let you know. And, it might be like 9:30 that the podcast starts. We're not sure yet.
You should just do it courtside.
Courtside? Mm-hmm. That would be fantastic. Hello, everyone, live. Oh my gosh, I need to figure out what their gym is called.
Alumni
gym. I have a lot of
centers.
Research to do this week. Yes. Let me tell you right now, I have a lot of research to do this week.
Well, enjoy it. I have fun with that. So hopefully you do as well. And we'll hear back from you next. Is that your first one?
It'll be my first game. Yeah, next Wednesday is my first game.
So that means maybe if you are back on Wednesday, that we'll be able to hear all about it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Are they good?
They're 6-3 right now. They finished in second place in the Grand Valley Conference.
Are you just boys or boys and women's or men's and women's?
It's men's and women's both. Yeah. So pretty excited. But yeah, University of Illinois Springfield Prairie Stars, and I'll be doing both basketball and baseball in the spring. So, but yeah, first game is on Wednesday. They play Knox College.
I have heard of that.
So I got to do a little bit of research between now and then. Figure out what I'm doing here. So,
good luck
for you next week. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Look forward to it. So
break a leg,
and thank you everyone for watching tonight.
Yep. Good luck with your game tomorrow night as well, and hopefully there will be fights this time in Gracie County, Edmonson County. But you never know.
I am looking forward to the highlight reels. Let me tell you, my friend.
You never know. You do have one more. How about the Timberwolves?
That would require me to pay attention to the NBA, Dad. Hold on.
Yeah, I got nothing. Carl Towns. Carl Towns is my guy. Gotta love Carl Towns.
Timberwolves are 16-4.
Oh, wow.
16-4.
I'm not sure I realized. That shows you how much I follow the NBA.
Yeah, I had no idea they were good. I couldn't
Shout out to Carl Towns. Kentucky legend. We'll see you next week, Leroy.
Yeah, see you, brother. Have a good